Governor Sanwo-Olu seeks special status for Lagos State. Nigeria Labour Congress rejects federal government's national industrial relations policy. And on the foreign scene, more than 100 people missing following flash floods in India. And in sports, Nigeria's The Tigers intensify preparation ahead Afro-Basket tournament in Angola. Now the news in details. I am Timi Dayo Anthony. The Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has reiterated the imperative for Lagos State to be granted a special status, given its pivotal role in driving Nigeria's economic growth and its significant contributions to the well-being of the citizens. Sanwo-Olu stated this while welcoming the leadership and members of the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission, RMAFC, at the opening session of the Commission's on-the-spot assessment visits to the state. The governor, who was represented by his deputy, Obafemi Amzat, said such a request has become imperative owing to the strategic position of the state, especially with the peculiar burdens it bears. Sanwo-Olu described the visits of the commission as a significant milestone in the continued efforts of the federal government to ensure greater transparency, equity, and fairness in the distribution of the nation's resources, and underscoring the need for Nigerians to start acting based on facts and not emotions. He stressed the need for RMAFC to ensure recognition of the 37 local council development areas, LCDAs, in the revenue allocation, adding that these LCDAs, since their creation in 2003, have succeeded in bringing governance closer to the people, accelerating grassroots development in the state, and the needs to be recognized. Earlier in his welcome address, Commissioner for Finance, Abayomi Oluyomi, emphasized the importance of monitoring statutory allocation to state and local governments to ensure proper planning and sustainable government of the nation's resources. The Lagos State government has reassured residents that there is no need to panic over the flooding experienced in some parts of the state on Monday, insisting that resilient infrastructure are in place to contain any eventuality. Commissioner for Environment and Water Resources, Tokunbo Wahab, who gave the reassurance, attributed the flash flooding to the intensity of the rainfall, which was more than 15 hours in some areas, and the effect of climate change. While speaking directly about the challenged areas in Ijede, he said a major contract to address the issues is ongoing, but the intensity of the rainfall created undue pressure, which has been addressed by opening up some parts to drain the water. Wahab charged residents to be courageous and blow the whistle when they see any infraction that is detrimental to the environment. He also appealed to the builders and developers in the state to ensure that due diligence is carried out before erecting any building, stressing that most building owners do not seek drainage clearance from the ministry before construction work begins. The federal government has forecast heavy rainfall over a 5-day period that may trigger flooding across 19 states and 76 locations. The warning issued by the National Flood Early Warning System Center of the Federal Ministry of Environment called on stakeholders and residents to take urgent precautionary measures. Now, this comes as devastating flood struck Ogun and Gombe State on Tuesday, with other states including Lagos, Plateau, Anambra, and Delta also affected by the disaster. According to the center's flood prediction, the affected areas are expected to experience rainfall likely to cause flooding from August 5 to August 9. Now, flooding in Nigeria has become a yearly occurrence that claims lives and destroyed many properties. In 2024, 31 states were purportedly affected by flooding, causing hundreds of deaths, injuring thousands of others, and affecting 1.2 million others. Meanwhile, the National Economic Council has approved the release of intervention funds to support nationwide flood mitigation and response efforts. The Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, has criticized the federal government's newly approved National Industrial Relations Policy, calling it a veiled attempt to criminalize industrial actions and suppress trade union activities. NLC President Joseph Ajero faults the government's emphasis on curbing industrial actions, particularly strikes, as highlighted in the communique released after the Federal Executive Council meeting held on July 31. Ajero says the policy adopted during the FEC meeting, chaired by President Bola Tinubu, is intended to regulate trade union operations and minimize industrial disputes nationwide. The NLC president maintains that the move threatens workers' rights and undermines the role of organized labor in protecting employee welfare. He adds that the policy, rather than addressing the wide range of workplace issues captured in the industrial relations framework, has chosen to single out strike as national concern, accusing the government of undermining the principles of tripartism and social dialogue, which formed the basis of policy development. The federal government has disbursed 250,000 naira unconditional grant each to outstanding business owners in Ondo State as part of ongoing efforts to empower micro, small, and medium enterprise across the country. Vice President Kashim Shettima announced disbursement of the grant during the launch of the 7th expanded National MSME Clinic in Akure, Ondo State. Shettima said creating an enabling environment for MSMEs in the Nigeria Central East economic policy of the renewed hope administration of President Bola Tinubu. Vice President noted that because MSMEs account for over 90% of businesses in Nigeria, contributing over 45% to the national economic and employing more than 60 million Nigerians, they are not only economic actors, but also the silent architects of survival, the lifeline of households and pulse of every community. The Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has mourned the passing of Doyin Abiola, the first former female managing director and publisher of the National Concord newspaper and wife of the late winner of the June 12, 1993 presidential election, Chief MKO Abiola. Governor Sanwo-Olu, in a statement issued by Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Boyega Koshile, described the late Abiola, who died on Tuesday at the age of 82, as an Amazon in the media industry. He said Dr. Abiola, during a lifetime, especially at a younger age, contributed a quarter to the growth and development of journalism in Nigeria as a reporter, feature writer, group feature editor, and the first Nigerian woman to be an editor and managing director of the Nigerian National Daily. Governor Sanwo-Olu said Dr. Doyin Abiola's death is a great loss to journalism and the media industry in Nigeria. And now to foreign news. More than 100 people are missing at least, and one has died after the cloudburst triggered devastating flood in the northern Indian state of the Uttarakhand, and rescue operations are on the way in Uttarakashi district after a massive wave of water surged down the mountain, submerging roads and buildings in its parts. Some army teams have been stationed in the area, but other disaster response forces and district officials have been unable to reach the area due to damaged roads and heavy rainfall. Heavy rain have been lashing out at the states of Uttarakhand over the past few days. India's weather department has forecast heavy rainfall in the region for the coming days to avoid traveling slide. Now to sports. The camp of the Nigerian senior men's national team, the Tigers, is expected to witness the arrival of more players from the provisional roster as preparation for the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket continues. The Nigeria Basketball Federation, NBBF, had earlier released a preliminary roster comprising 12 players, with camping having commenced officially earlier this week in Abuja as the team tries to build cohesion and chemistry before the first game of the tournament on August 13. Leading the team to the quadrennial showpiece, head coach Mohamed Abdurrahman will be looking to put a better outing at the 31st edition of the FIBA Men's AfroBasket Tournament, scheduled to held in Angola from August 12 to 24 and fixture 16 countries. The Tigers have been pitched in Group B alongside defending champions and three-time winners Tunisia, Cameroon, and Madagascar. Nigeria will begin the campaign with an opening fixture against Madagascar on August 13 before taking on the reigning champions Tunisia 2 days later, and then face Cameroon in the final round robin game on August 17. But just before we go, ensure the registration mark on your vehicle is clear and visible at all times. You can follow us on like all our social media platforms. X Traffic Radio 961, Facebook as Lagos Traffic Radio 961 FM, Instagram Lagos Traffic Radio 961. You can subscribe and watch a news and program live on YouTube at Traffic Radio 961. You can also visit our website on www.trafficradio961.ng, and you can also listen to Lagos Traffic Radio 96.1 FM live on my Lagos app for timely update. Did you know that under the Sanwo-Olu administration, 1,050 rural women received intensive training in boosting output in agricultural production, and the beneficiaries were given equal access to markets? You can get more details on Lagos State Government's website. And to end the news, here are the highlights of the major stories. Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu has reiterated the imperative for Lagos State to be granted special status, given its pivotal role in driving Nigeria's economic growth and its significant contributions to the well-being of the citizens. The Nigeria Labour Congress (NLC) has criticized the federal government's newly approved National Industrial Relations Policy, calling it a veiled attempt to criminalize industrial actions and suppress trade union activities. We also told you that more than 100 people are missing and at least one dead after a cloud burst triggered devastating flash flood in the northern Indian state of Uttarakhand. And in sports, the camp of Nigeria's senior men's national team, the Tigers, is expected to witness the arrival of more players from the provisional roster as preparation for the 2025 FIBA AfroBasket continues. For contact with the newsroom, please send a message to info@trafficradio961.ng. The ends in this broadcast, compiled by Abiola Fagbalagun. I am Temi Dayo Anthony. Many thanks for listening.
Don't you think it is better to get